Here's one
Anyway,
thing that I wanted to get to last week, and I didn't, and I think it plays into what we're talking about. We talked about Matt Lewis in the podcast last week, and this statement comes from that podcast, and I thought this was very interesting. I really meant to go into it before. Matt has a new book coming out soon about smart conservatism and dumb conservatism. And whatever you think of Matt Lewis, whatever you think of that, this is a question that I think needs answering. The way it was phrased in this discussion was that it seems a lot these days as though the measure of one's conservatism is how angry one is. And that if you are more angry, people will ascribe to you the quality of being more conservative. You look like you're fighting and you're taking it to the left or whatever. And someone who's not using those types of weapons, I suppose, or doing other things in a different way, much like what we're doing here with internal memos to our guys, they're not as conservative because they're not as provably angry. I wanted to throw that out and see if everybody resonated with that as much as I did.
Well, I mean, I think the thing that really annoys me about this is that there's this idea that because one doesn't call Obama Obummer and be constantly screaming invectives at the left, that we're not angry. Like, I'm angry about the situation in New Jersey. I'm angry about the left and how high the taxes are here. I'm angry about the all of the unemployment. I'm angry about the way that government is screwing us. But I don't have to shout that every 5 seconds because it doesn't help. Who's it bringing to my side to say, all this stuff is terrible and I hate it? Who does that bring to my side except just the same people who are yelling and screaming with me? That's the problem. We should not have to be shaking our fists constantly in order to prove that we are conservatives.
Well, and again, that circles back to Garrity's question, why are you here? Are you engaging, are you a self-professed conservative, following conservative news topics and commenting on these things just as a means of catharsis? Are you just trying to express your anger and dump it out on other people? Is it just so that you can feel like you're not alone and you're not the only one who feels this way or sees these things or is concerned about what is happening? That's okay if that's what you're here for. Be there for that. There are other places where that's the purpose. What I'm here for is to grow the conservative movement, and that means that I've done my catharsis. I know that I'm not alone, and I'm on step 2 of getting together with like-minded individuals and moving forward with an optimistic view of the kind of future that we think we can make. And that means that we don't just focus on pointing out the bad things. It means that we focus on looking at the good things that people do that are imperfect teammates, rather than just pointing out the bad things that our teammates are doing. Yes, we have to do that to try to get them to be better, but a more effective way to encourage our teammates to improve their performance is to praise them for the good things that they're doing and to encourage them to do the right thing. Instead of just saying, no, don't do that, like Peter's going to be learning with his puppy, you say, no, don't do that, but you also have to, at the same time, say, here, do this instead. That's much more effective way of training the stupid puppy that is your politician. Here, do this instead. They have short attention spans, and you distract them from the bad thing that they're doing by saying, here's the good thing I want you to do. And I'm not sure that we have enough people in our movement or our orbit that are ready for that yet, because they still want to be angry, complaining.
Well, I think that's where we start to begin the transition process. People are angry and they're frustrated, and part of that frustration is derived from the fact that they don't see movement in the direction that they desire. And which I admit, it is frustrating. You look at what's going on, you're like, what are you doing? No, you're screwing it up, And I'm just talking about my puppy. Don't go on the floor, or am I talking about the government? Either way, it's about the same. And I got to clean it up.
Like PD said in the chat, so many conservatives seem to be playing from the "I didn't get a harumph out of that guy" theory. That they're not a conservative because they didn't harumph at the right time. It's like, come on, guys. We can do more than just.
Well, doesn't he understand how serious it is? Oh my God! Don't you understand how critical it is? You're not really a true conservative. I get that all the time.
They are not low information. You've just not given them anything to care about. You have not given them a story to care about. If you go to these, quote, low information voters, okay, let's review. They can tell you stats and statistics on sports going back to the 1800s, if baseball is what they follow, because they have a passion about it, because they're passionate about it. They're not low information. It's that the information that they're absorbing isn't political.